Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to the Brand Architect podcast. Today I am talking to Isaac Talpin, who is a tech entrepreneur, who is a father, and the co founder of Conveyor. Did I pronounce this correct? Conveyor. Conveyor. Okay, yeah, and the co-founder on Conveyor. We will, definitely talk about that and what it is, and you know it much better. So we'll dive into what it is and how it can help us. But let's talk, about how you ended up where you are. Like tech entrepreneurship. It's a hot topic. Everyone, it sounds very sexy, but I'm sure it's a lot of work, and many people are a bit cautious about that stuff because it's pretty complex. So it's much easier to deal with social media and online business, but not everyone gets to tech. So how did you end up being there? Okay. Oh yeah, I really like that you mentioned that fact because personalization and putting your brand or your own identity out there is very important because I think that is the best way to make sure that people resonate with you. Because it's very easy to sort of read different things, make a synthesis, come up with a blog post, or record a podcast episode about something, or share your opinions. But it's a completely different thing when you end up doing something which is personal enough to provoke engagement and to get feedback, and for the people to sort of realize what kind of person you are and whether they would like to work with you further or to follow you later on. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about, like, now the biggest challenge that brands are having, and personal brands included, is creating content that is emotional enough to resonate with their audiences. So what is that part? How even people who don't really feel very comfortable to open up can end up creating something that is valuable and emotional enough that it resonates. Uh, yeah. Mm. Okay, I see. So basically, you mentioned there is something about good content, and you mentioned few things about it being practical, being useful, and being short enough, so it doesn't really, get too long and boring. What else would you say a good content presents? Mm, yeah, true. Mm, okay, well, you mentioned something. You mentioned selling a course or content or whatever it is. So, I mean, there are many people who are sort of in a rush, and they want to put out a content, as much content as possible, as often as possible, in order to start selling stuff and making money online. I'm like, I think that selling from day one may be a little bit risky. You need to build your trust, you need to show who you are, you need to grow your audience first. That's my personal approach. So what is this optimal sort of, way of doing it? Do you do things parallel? You sell and you produce value in terms of free content parallel to each other? Do you wait until you are large enough to start selling stuff? Or, how do you approach it? Let's say I'm starting from scratch, I don't have an audience yet, but I have an idea, I'm good at something, I can create something to sell out of it, which is relevant to the audience I want to reach. How do I deal with that? Mm. Mm. Mhm. Mm. Well, it's good you told that. I mean, we were talking about the problem of people who don't have an audience and are starting to grow it. Now, after a certain period of time, when the audience becomes too large, we get another problem, which is being, keeping the same level of engagement and being personal with them and being able to respond to them in in real time, or by responding to their emails, to their comments and all that stuff. So when things scale up too much, obviously you can't really do an individualized sort of feedback to every single one of them, because of the time issue, because of the volume of the people who approach you and all that stuff. So I know many people who have very large audiences who are hiring people to sort of to deal with their communication, to give them the sorted out already, like a limited part of the emails, to respond to the others and all that stuff. So they are outsourcing part of their personal communication, and some other things as well. So with which probably at some point you are losing the quality of the relationship and of the communication with your audience. So you may end up knowing them less than you did before. You may end up not having this intense relationship and communication with them. So you may end up losing things while you are scaling up. So how do you make sure that how do you deal with this problem? Because for me, like hiring someone who is responding to my emails and let alone writing my own names underneath, so leaving the impression that it's me, that is something like completely unacceptable for me personally and for my brand. So what is the other solution? Is there anything better that one could do? Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, I see. So as I understand, we sort of get closer to your service and what it does. So let's introduce it first and start sort of a conversation about what it offers, and sort of I will play the devil's advocate, and we'll go from there, I guess. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, money. True. Yeah. Okay, well, I see. So basically, I mean, I truly agree with you in the fact that no one can run away from their mobiles. So they may avoid opening emails, they may ignore you on social media, and they may not be on certain platforms you are on, and they may end up not listening to your podcast because they prefer to listen to music, for example. But mobile is something that is always with them. Most of the people are in their mobiles and watching their screens most of the day. So that, yes. What I'm a little bit concerned about, I mean, looking at me personally, like when I'm getting an opt-in form which asks for my mobile number, I'm a bit. I mean, I don't know how. What is your experience? Do people actually put in their mobile numbers in the opt-in form? Wow. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ah, okay, okay, I see. So depending on what stage you are at, your opt-in, the people who will put in their numbers will increase with the time. Okay, I see. So let's talk about personalization. I mean, personally, I hate when I'm following someone on Twitter and then I'm getting an automated DM, which is absolute. I mean, you can immediately tell it's automated. It tells nothing about. I mean, it's a completely like useless and sometimes even pushy because it gets a link or the worst part is when you get like please follow me on Facebook and then from Twitter they put a Facebook link and for me it's like oh, I mean that is a complete nonsense for me, like jumping from one platform to another and driving people from one place to another. But anyway, so you get all these automated messages when and that's when you get this I can't even explain, but I'm getting this negative vibe immediately because I'm like, hey, stop, wait a minute, I don't even know you and you're just jumping on me with some kind of things that you want something from me, so you either want me to go somewhere else or you want me to buy your book or you want me to like your page or whatever it is. You're just instead of hello you just put a request in, and we didn't even create a relationship at first place. So how is your service working in that respect? So you I mean, as I understood, you basically offer something with the opt-in. You're getting their mobile number, so you have this service which can reach them either by email or by mobile or both. So what happens next? How do you make sure that it doesn't really look like a rude automated text message? Mm, mm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah. Mm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I see. So I presume, if I'm not mistaken, if you approach it that way, and you get higher open rates and you are personal, most probably you're also getting a large amount of feedback because you're provoking engagement and they interact with you, and the possibility that they will hit reply and write something back to you is going to be really big. So how do you deal with that? I mean, if the amount of these people who are writing you back is too big, I mean, how do you deal with that? How much automation is in place for that part? Or a bit, because the problem is, like, most probably someone who has a pretty substantial audience, once they start doing that, I mean, they most probably don't want to sit around and reply to messages 2 hours after they have, for 2 hours, 3 hours after they have sent out something to their text subscribers, right? So what happens then? Because on the other hand, once you are personal and you get that engagement, I mean, the worst thing you can do is just ignore what they've written, right? So how do you deal with that part? Bono, yes. Okay. Mm, yeah. Mm, yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 I totally see what you're meaning. So basically, I mean, I guess the interesting thing is, like, we always sort of, there are always certain trends and the ways people are dealing with social media and online trends and everything else. So you end up seeing like the same thing. I mean, the email was really big in the beginning, then we went to audio, or now it's the live streaming, and everyone is talking about sales funnels, and then there is another wave of the sales funnels, the traditional ones. You knew that's not the right way. There is sales funnels 2.0, which is, this is the right way to do that, and all that stuff which comes, you have webinars rolling next to it and all that stuff. So I guess everyone is about, okay, what is coming next, and every time you end up basically chasing the other thing, not being too good with what you have learned. Some things become older or they change, and you end up like running around all the time. So I think in this case, when you are relying on text, it's very intuitive because you're using it anyway. So you know how to text, and you know how to text it with your style and how to phrase things, and it's pretty much natural coming to you. And you have your phone with you, so most probably you can be more productive because you can do it while you are in a bus, or in a waiting line or whatever it is. So it can be pretty time saving at the same time as well. Plus, as we said, it's a direct touch point for a person who also has his phone most of the time in his hands. So I guess when we think about what's coming next, most probably you are right, and this is what will be coming next, I guess. So yeah, I mean, to wrap it up, maybe if you can give people who are interested to use that service few tips, like, I don't know, that the most successful things or functions that your people are using and it works best for them so far, that would be really useful. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. 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 Okay, I see. Yeah, clear. So definitely start with that, and I really loved what you said about actually putting in work. and not stopping from the point when you have sold something to the person, because that person does not stop being your audience once he pays, right? Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I guess the logical wrap up will be telling people where do they go and get more details about the service and check it out. Absolutely. Yeah, totally makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you there. That's why I'm not really fan of the tactical SEO and non-human ways to push sort of traffic your way, because I mean I want people to come to me because it's me, not because I used the right keywords, right? So okay, well, thank you very much. It was really interesting. I mean, I will check out the service because as I said before we started recording, I didn't on purpose to be able to ask you stupid questions to make sure that we covered everything. So yeah, I'll do that. Well, thank you very much. It was really nice to have you over, and I hope it was useful. Thank you.